In NASCAR, tempers flare and crashes are a normal part of the game. In the latest race at the Würth 400, things got heated as Kyle Larson found himself in the middle of a collision caused by another driver's mistake. Larsson is furious with Ross Chastain after his number 1 Trackhouse Racing Chevrolet clashed with Rick Poole's slower number 15 Rick Ware Racing Ford. So, what do the two drivers have to say? Join us to find out what's going on right now between the drivers. But before that, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more whereabouts on NASCAR. Another week, another Ross Chastain related incident. He's made an enemy of Kyle Larson at Dover this time. At the Monster Mile, the Würth 400 has already seen a few wrecks. Larsson was furious on the radio after the accident. Ross Chastain drove too hard into Brennan Poole in the number 15 at turn 3. The 15 vehicles went down the track and back up, bumping Poole out of the way. That's the way Dover is. Kyle Larson happened to be standing right there to receive the impact from Poole. While Chastain stated on the radio that he had no intention of wrecking Poole or Larsson, it doesn't help much now. Chastain managed to prevent any personal harm. Kyle Larson responded to the situation as follows. He and his colleagues were furious and demanded immediate answers. Chastain has done many horrible things on the track, but this is one of the worst. Kyle Larson wasn't the only driver who is fed up with Chastain following this. Poole is making his first Cup Series appearance in 3 years. He must now call it a day after only 81 laps on the course. That's after having to wait an extra day to begin due to inclement weather. Poole didn't hold back in his post-game remarks either. He stated unequivocally that Chastain probably needs to get his butt whooped. We know he's not the only one who believes this. After the race, Ross Chastain stated, "Whoever was in the lead had a chance of winning. First, I want to tell Brennan Poole and everyone at Rick Ware Racing how sorry I am. I owe them a lot of apologies and a little bit more. Tomorrow I'll go there, talk to those guys, and try to make some of that right. Again, our number 1 jockey Chevy team and everyone at Trackhouse Racing, Advent Health, Moose Fraternity, and Worldwide Express were so close to winning. It's crazy to keep doing this and run against people I look up to. I think I told Martin Truex Jr. too many of my secrets after we went fishing together last year." While Brennan Poole said, "I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like I just got run over. As soon as he ran into me, he pushed me into the corner way too far, and then he turned me around right away. So I guess it was the number 1? Go figure, I mean, just a joke. 80 or so laps into a race? Not a thing. I was right next to number 3, Austin Dillon. I just got to the outside, and it's not like I can go anywhere or give him more room than what I had. He just ran me over. So that's kind of sad. I'm not sure. It seems like he's been doing it a lot lately. Just not a good reason. It was the first time I drove a brand new Cup car, and I was 80 laps out. I didn't use the brakes very much at all. You're kind of just coasting along without much speed. Maybe you would brake if you came in a little too fast in dirty air, but you didn't. I just pulled up next to number 3, took my foot off the gas, and got run over. It might have been before I needed to roll out of the gas. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch the video again. I just don't think it's important. It's kind of a bummer to wreck a car when you'll be able to be here on Sunday. I'm thankful for this chance and happy to be here. I have another chance to prove myself next week, and I hope it leads to more." But how did Kyle Larson's day actually come to an end early? Kyle Larson, to his credit, did everything he could to get his car running again. His crew chopped things up, freed up his right front wheel, and did everything they could to get their driver in a nice car. Even with all their efforts, the number 5 Chevy could not be saved. This season, Chastain has been held accountable for actions that were not his fault. However, there is no doubt that he made a mistake here. Drivers can take him at his word or assume he's simply an aggressive driver. That can be aggravating, regardless of your feelings about Chastain. It sometimes merely causes things that don't need to happen. We should just expect that from Chastain at this point. He drives aggressively into turns, which means he pushes others when he shouldn't. The problem is that he continues getting lucky while avoiding injury. Perhaps if he were the one who was out of the race right now, he would reconsider his strategy. Kyle Larson and Brennan Poole must call it quits. Mondays can be difficult for everyone, including NASCAR drivers. What are your thoughts on Ross Chastain's comments after the race? Tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for more updates. And if we talk about the winner, Martin Truex Jr. dominated the final stage to win Monday's NASCAR Cup Series race at Dover Motor Speedway and end a streak of 54 races without a victory. The Truex family has now won 2 NASCAR races in the space of only 3 days, thanks to the success of the previous Cup champion. Martin Truex's younger brother Ryan Truex was victorious in the Xfinity Series race that took place at Dover on Saturday. The Cup race was moved from Sunday to Monday because of bad weather. During the final miles of the race, Ross Chastain gave chase to Truex but was unable to challenge for the lead. Truex finished the race in first place, winning the final 11 circuits and 68 of the final 69 laps. When there were only 14 laps remaining in the race, Joey Logano caused a caution by losing control of his car and crashing into the outside wall. Before the crash involving Logano, Truex was ahead of Chastain by around a second. After making their pit stops, the leaders of the race were Truex, who took 2 tires, and Chastain, who took 4. Despite having a tire disadvantage, Truex was able to maintain his lead in the Cup Series and win for the 32nd time overall. Chastain finished in second place, followed by Ryan Blaney in third, William Byron in fourth, and Denny Hamlin in fifth. Chastain had his best finish of the year with the performance. Truex took home his 4th victory of the season in Dover. After having problems at the pit stop on lap 124, which caused him to fall to 20th place, he was able to recover. Truex told Fox Sports, "It felt like we've been close a bunch of times. And we gave some away, that's for sure. Thought today, man, late caution, what's going to happen here? But just a great call by James, crew chief James Small, to take 2, and then was able to get a pretty good restart and get Dave Blaney there. He raced me hard but cleanly. We know we could do this. We've shown it. We've led laps, we've dominated races, and it just would never all come together. I kept saying that we've got to just keep doing what we're doing and not overthink it. Tough day today with a few pit stops early, and then obviously the guys got it going in the end. So really psyched and happy for everybody. Just thanks to everybody at JGR as well. Awesome job." The second stage of the race was won by Chastain, who crossed the finish line ahead of Byron, Blaney, Truex Jr., and Hamlin. Chastain has surpassed Christopher Bell at the top of the point standings and taken over his position. Byron was a dominant force in the first stage, which he won, but later on he reported that his car became very loose. After him, in second place came Hamlin, then Blaney, then Brad Keselowski, and finally Chastain. Martin Truex Jr. battled for the lead in the final stage of the race and was able to maintain his position at the front of the pack despite a late caution that bunched up the competition. William Byron had one of the fastest cars of the day in the first 2 stages, and he led the race for the most laps, 193. In the closing miles of the race, Ross Chastain made his way into a challenging position but was unable to pass Truex. Chastain finished 98 laps in the first place. But who were the drivers that had a bad race? After 29 laps of competition, Noah Gragson went off the track and crashed into the backstretch because he was unable to maintain the required minimum speed. On lap 36, Daniel Suarez was unable to maintain control of his vehicle and hit the outside wall. He stopped driving for the day. Joey Logano's tire issue forced him to make multiple pit stops during the day, and he was forced to pull off the track with 14 laps remaining after he collided with the outside wall. The next race in the Cup Series will take place at Kansas Speedway on May 7th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's all we've got for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the upcoming video.